This week, we're doing a special episode all about our summer favorites when it comes to movies, TV, books, games, and so much more. Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse. Warning.
Red alert.
Ay, 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 ay!
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
That's the emergency alert.
This episode is full of spoilers for some of the latest and greatest nerdy movies and shows.
Spoilers.
Listener discretion is advised. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse podcast. I'm Billy Taylor.
And I'm Taylor Oxner.
And this week, we are doing a bit of a special episode. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite activities to do in the summer when it comes to all these wonderful pop culture things that we enjoy. I figured we'll start this whole thing off with some of the things that we have to do each summer. And some of the things might not be like, oh, hey, I do this every single summer, but it's fun to do because it's summer. We got summer vibes going, some of our favorite things to do. But let's kind of start with a movie. And I know for me, you guys have probably heard me say this. I'm going to go ahead and jump in with my favorite movie. And it's really a movie series. It's not just one single movie, but it is the Back to the Future trilogy. I cannot let a single summer go by without watching all three of those movies. Taylor, before I jump into some of the cool stuff about it, what's your relationship with that movie? When was the first time you think you ever saw it, and how much do you enjoy it?
So I saw all of them at varying different times. I think I saw like the first one at my aunt's house. I was real young. And then I didn't see the second one until like later. And then I saw the third one, believe it or not, on like TV. But since then, I think I rewatched them a bunch. I really like those movies. I guess very fond. I have very fondness for them.
Yeah. So the movies came out. The first movie came out the year I was born, 1985. Obviously, I didn't watch it as a newborn. But by the time I did watch them, I was probably 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that range. And at that point, all three movies already existed. And I just remember seeing the first one as a little kid, and I loved it. I think it's what made me start loving time travel stuff, because just the thought of going back and seeing your parents as kids was kind of cool, and I don't know, changing things for the better. But yeah, I will say that there's so many cool things that happen in all these movies. They're so well thought out. They make sure that everything that happens has a purpose. There's some kind of an impact that it causes, a ripple effect, and we could spend 2 or 3 hours talking about all of them, but some of my favorite ones are probably, I know in the first movie, when Marty goes back in time, he's at the mall parking lot, and then he goes back in time to the 50s, and he winds up in this old farmland, and as he exits that area, there's these 2 pine trees, and he runs one of them over, and in the 80s, the mall was called Twin Pines Mall. Well, he runs that pine tree over, and when he goes back to the 80s at the end of the movie, it's called Lone Pine Mall. And that, again, that's just one tiny little detail that these guys thoroughly thought through. And I love when they do that kind of stuff in time travel movies. One of my other favorite facts about this is all the singing and guitar playing is actually Michael J. Fox. In fact, he did every stunt, every activity, every musical thing, skateboarding, everything. The only thing he didn't do was in the third movie when there was someone hopping from train to train. They actually didn't let Michael J. Fox do that because they didn't want him to fall off a train and halt production. But
Yeah.
going back to that first movie, when he's playing guitar and he's trying out to do the school dance or whatever, and the principal doesn't let him and all that, the blonde guy playing guitar with him in his band called the Pinheads, it was his real life guitar teacher. And that's a fact that I recently learned. I didn't know that all these years, but I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah.
That is cool.
In the second movie, one of my favorite facts from the second movie is when he's in the Cafe 80s in the future, we see these little kids playing the video game, and this is the first movie that Elijah Wood was ever in. So that we see a tiny little Elijah Wood in that movie, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that was the first movie he was in.
Yep, I think he might have been in 1 or 2 commercials, but that's the first movie he was ever in.
That's cool.
Another thing that I didn't catch till like a much later viewing was in the second movie, you know, it's when they go back after Biff takes the time machine and changes the past and makes his life better and all that. And they go back to this crazy 80s, the giant Biff tower. I didn't realize that he built it on top of the clock tower. I caught that one of the last times I watched this movie, that his big Biff casino tower, whatever it is literally on top of the clock tower. I don't know how I missed that all these years.
Yeah, I don't think I knew that.
And again, there's a ton of stuff in that movie, like Marty's walking into Biff's suite, and there's that Clint Eastwood movie playing in the background. And then, of course, fast forward to the third movie, Marty's wearing that piece of metal under his poncho there, and it saves him from getting shot in the chest. But that's a total callback from the movie that was playing on Biff's TV in the second movie. Some other cool stuff in the third movie, when Marty has to go to the past dock and find the time machine that's been locked away since the 1800s in a cave. He marks, you know, his initials ELB on the inside of the cave so that they'll know where to go. And that is totally an homage to the Journey to the Center of the Earth book. But that's not the cool part. Emmett's name, Doc Brown's name, is Emmett L. Brown. And it comes out that L stands for Lathrop, which it's like, who cares? But when you look at his name, if you read Emmett Lathrop backwards, do you know what that says? It says
No.
Time Portal. So
weird.
Yeah, Emmett Lathrop Brown, but Emmett Lathrop backwards is Time Portal. And I think that's kind of crazy. Who thought of that? Like,
Yeah, that's weird.
some other behind the scenes stuff when Marty's back in the 1800s for the first time and he gets hung up by Mad Dog Tannen. Well, a mishap happened and he was actually being hanged there and it really hurt him and they had to stop production for several weeks, which is why they were like, nope, you are not doing anything on this train. We're getting a stunt double. Some other cool time travel-y stuff. The ravine was called Clayton Ravine in the 80s. But when they go back in time and they save Clara Clayton from falling in the ravine, obviously it's not called Clayton Ravine anymore. But then at the end of the movie, when the DeLorean's being pushed by the train and everything falls in the ravine and the DeLorean goes to the future, they call it Eastwood Ravine. That's what the sign says, Eastwood Ravine, because in the past he called himself Clint Eastwood and they all thought Eastwood died in the ravine. So that was just another time travel change that I thought was cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Again, I could talk about this stuff for like 3 hours and do a whole episode on it, but that is my all-time favorite movie. Every single summer, gotta watch it. I love that the past couple summers, my kids have been asking me like, oh, when are we going to watch Back to the Future? And it's actually about that time. Last week was the 39th anniversary of Back to the Future, which jogged my memory like, oh, it's about that time. Got to go set that up. My family's going to be out of town and hanging with family and seeing family we haven't seen in a while. But when we get back, that is on the to-do list to watch all three Back to the Futures.
Nice.
For you, what's a go-to movie? You just every year you just got to sit down and watch it, or a series or whatever.
Every summer I watch The Sandlot.
Ooh, that's a total good one.
I also watch like Field of Dreams. Every summer I watch a lot of baseball movies in the summer, weirdly enough. I'm like not a big sports person, but those type of movies. I tend to watch a lot of comedies in the summer.
Yeah.
I like the movie Hot Rod I watch like every summer.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, I don't really have a summer movie thing that I watch every summer.
Yeah. You know, you just made me think. I also am not a big sports guy, but you just made me think that I have not sat down with my children and watched The Sandlot.
Oh, for real?
So I think we're going to have to remedy that soon.
Yeah, that movie's amazing.
Oh, I love it so much. Let's see. When it comes to TV, for my family, in terms of something we have to watch again and again, every summer we go back, and the past couple summers it hasn't been the entirety of each of these shows, but we'll go watch some of our favorite episodes, and it's from Avatar: The Last Airbender and from Steven Universe. Every single summer we go back and watch all of our favorite episodes. Those shows are so good. If you've never watched them, because you might think, oh, those are for kids, they're cartoons, like whatever, don't do that to yourself. These shows are amazing. You need to watch them. But that's kind of our summer comfort show, Avatar: The Last Airbender and Steven Universe. What about you? What do you feel like you got to sit down and watch?
I watch The OC every summer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's like a teen drama from like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
There's only like 4 seasons, but I don't know, for some reason I watch it every summer. It's a lot of fun, a lot of drama, a lot of really good music actually, and a lot of really funny stuff like Chris Pratt is in it as a hippie. Olivia Wilde's in it. There's so many people in it as younger actors or actresses that you just gotta kind of see it to believe it. But it's a really
funny enough. Other than a couple episodes caught here and there, that's one I've never really watched.
It's a lot of fun. I bet Emily would like it too.
Oh, I'm sure she would.
It's written really smart.
Yeah. I've been trying to think about reading when it comes to books or comics, and I can't think of one that I sit here and think, oh, it's summer, I have to read this book. But I will say, just comics in general, when summer gets here, school's out, I read a zillion times more comics than I normally do throughout the normal school year. And right now, I'm currently reading, obviously I've mentioned in the past, it's been coming out the past few months, but Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 2 just began. Man, it's so good. But the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic book, I cannot sing its praises enough. Imagine taking your favorite show and making it for adults. It's just so good. And I think I recently read that the current storyline is going to be the final storyline, which makes me really sad. I'm sure they'll reboot it or something, but...
Did they say why?
I feel like it has to do with the IP being under new ownership right now, and they're just rebooting everything. But that's just a guess, because they haven't outright said it. It's just, the timing lines up. If you remember a handful of years back, they did their Shattered Grid storyline, and the current storyline, which is years later, is kind of going to call back to those events, and then wrap everything up and finalize everything. But, man, it's so good. So for me, my summer go-to isn't a specific thing, but it's comics in general. I read a ton of them, and the one I'm loving the most right now is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. How about you? What do you love to read right now?
Like in the summer, I try to read the Bendis New Avengers run. Nice. With the events plugged in. So from Bendis's Secret War story to Siege.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. It's when I got really back into comics is when all that was going on. So it's I think nostalgia has me for a lot of it. I probably think a lot of it's better than a lot of the other people would think.
Yeah.
Just because I have those feels for it. But yeah.
Nice. You know what?
I love that.
I did forget to mention, when it comes to comics, I do have every single trade paperback of every Back to the Future comic from, I think, 2013 forward. And after I watch all the movies, I have to go read those too. I forgot to mention that. Those books continue those stories. And yeah, I guess that I kind of lied. There is a specific book that I do read, and it's the Back to the Future ones.
Yeah.
They're so fun. And then there's a couple out of continuity ones. There's the one called Citizen Brown, which basically turned the Telltale games of Back to the Future that was on the Nintendo Wii and Steam and stuff like that. It turned it into a graphic novel. So it's kind of its own thing. And then there's the Transformers Back to the Future book. It's its own thing too. But yeah, I read both of those as well every summer. I forgot. Those are so good.
I have a Mars Attacks versus Back to the Future.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever read that. Now I want to read it.
Yeah, it's only one issue.
Well, it sounds fun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think when it comes to video games. Same thing. I don't have a specific, oh man, it's summer, I gotta play this game. But the only games I ever play, mostly, for the most part, I play other games, but the games I mostly play are any Legend of Zelda game. And since summer is here, I've been playing The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, which I have not played since, 15 years ago. And I kept holding out for hope that Nintendo Switch would port it over, both Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, but they did not. They had their big, announcement week, their Nintendo Expo thing a couple weeks ago. And again, they didn't announce it. So long story short, I got my hands on the GameCube version of both of those games, and I've almost beat Twilight Princess. I have the final dungeon and then Hyrule Castle, and I'm all done. And
nice.
I forgot how good of a game that is. It's pretty good. And I have to say that playing it on the GameCube version, I like the controls way better because I played it on the Wii version.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my summer games. When it's done, I also got my hands on the Wind Waker for GameCube. Can't wait to play that as well.
I thought they were coming out with a remaster of one of those two.
I thought so too. I thought they were too, and then they had their big announcement expo a couple weeks ago and said nothing about any of that stuff. So I said, you know what? I will find some GameCube versions of it then.
Wow, that's crazy. I could have sworn I had heard, I would have put money on it that I heard something about it at some point.
Yeah, I was holding out so much hope.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it'll happen eventually. They've remastered almost every other one.
Yeah, it sounds like we're one more year away from a new Nintendo console, and
Yeah,
I'll
I
bet they
saw
release it with that.
I saw that. I think that's wild.
Oh, I know.
I feel like I just got my Switch. I don't know whether my concept of time is just off because of COVID or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but I feel like I lost a few years there.
Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day. It does not seem like it's been out that long. But on the other hand, it's been 8 years since it came out.
Has it been 8? Maybe it's just not that many people got it when it first came out, or the people who did get it. Well, I guess that's not true because they had the big old like Animal Farm fad.
Yeah. Oh, the Animal Crossing. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, Animal Crossing.
My whole house was part of that.
Yeah.
I haven't touched that thing in a couple years at this point, and I feel like if I were to turn it on, they'd be like, "Where the heck have you been?"
There are people that we're still friends with, that we're close friends with actually, who still get on there like weekly.
Yeah, I
was
was
like,
kind
that
of.
is nuts. So I was like, are you serious? Like, yeah, it's fun. It's like doing the chores, you know.
They keep adding stuff to it. I know at some point after I quit playing, there was a Mario thing they added where you can get all the clothes and some decorations. And at a certain point, I felt mind slaved by this game, so I had to cut it off cold turkey.
Mm-hmm. I played this mobile game called Marvel Strike Force.
Uh-huh.
I tried to get you to play it a couple times,
Yeah.
but it became chores. I played it for 3 years, and then one day I got in and I was logged out because of new phone or something. I don't remember, but I was logged out and I had emailed them things to get my account back. And I was just like, you know what? This is when I step away.
Yeah, it was a little freeing.
Yeah, it was a little freeing, but then at the same time, there would be these weird moments where I don't have anything to do on my phone. And it felt weird.
Yeah. So for you, what's your must play summer video games or mobile games or whatever?
For summer, I always play way more Mario Kart in the summer.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I guess, who knows? But I always tend to like replay games, at least one game in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I just finished replaying all the Mass Effect games.
Yep.
And right now I'm replaying Hollow Knight, plus I'm playing Final Fantasy 15, which I've been taking like massive breaks from and really just playing Hollow Knight because it's like super addicting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I know both of us love playing some good board games and card games, and this summer my family has been playing a ton of them together, which is one of my favorite parts as my kids have been getting older, is their ability to play these kinds of games with us as a family, and it's so much fun. So yeah, some of our summer board and card games we've been playing are obviously we break out the classics like Flux. I love those games. The two we've been playing the most lately is Doctor Who Flux and Marvel Flux. Doctor Who Flux has all the creepers and Marvel Flux has no creepers, so that one's a little bit easier to play with kids. If you've never played a Flux game, guys, go find one. They are so fun.
Yeah, I actually played a Flux game with my parents on the 4th.
Oh, nice.
We played Cthulhu.
Oh, yeah.
That one was a little bit hard to play with them.
Yeah.
We played the Batman one the time before, and it was perfect.
Nice.
So, yeah, just like... yeah.
Yeah, for people listening, if you've never played Flux, it's called Flux because the rules are constantly in flux. Cards you play change the rules. You start with drawing one card and playing one card, and then eventually you might have to draw one card and play 3 cards, or draw 5 cards and play 2 cards. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many changes throughout the game, but I could see someone who doesn't receive a set structure of rules at the very beginning having a little trouble with this game at first.
Yeah. And the different variations have the like change a rule here or there.
Yeah.
Too. And that's like another thing. The rule variations in this one were a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
While the Batman one is very easy.
Yeah.
We like that one a little bit more.
Yeah, I think overall, if I had to pick one, I think the Batman Animated Series one version is my favorite version.
Yeah.
We've also been playing this new game called Tapple. It's, imagine a circle with buttons all around the circle for all the letters of the alphabet, except they leave out, I think, Q and XYZ and letters like that. and you pull out a card, and the card has a category. And let's say the category is superheroes. There's a button in the middle, you push it, and a 10-second timer starts. And you have to look at all the available letters and push it and say a superhero, if that's your category. So if I pushed it, I would push an S and say Superman, pass it to the next person, and they would push a B and say Batman, and pass it to the next person. If the time goes out and you can't think of one for a remaining letter, you're out. And then the last person standing wins. That's a brand new game that just came out, and it is a lot of fun.
Oh, wow. It sucks. We usually do a summer game night. We couldn't this year.
I know, our schedules are so different. We'll have to do just a big fun one just because before the summer's up.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, the ever classic Monikers. That's one of my favorite games to play ever.
Yes. So much fun.
You have a deck of cards, and each person that's playing picks maybe 5 cards out of the deck and throws them in the pile. And it's going to be stuff like the most random stuff, like Chuck Norris and a Teletubby or a cheeseburger. It's just a stack of stuff, and you have 3 rounds. And round 1, you describe the stuff on the card without saying the word, and your teammates have to guess what you're talking about. Round 2, you can only say one single word to describe it, and your teammates have to guess. And then round 3 is charades with no words. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Some people call it fishbowl.
Yeah, there's a version called Fishbowl where you kind of have blank slips of paper and everyone makes their own cards and you throw them in a bucket and play it that way. I actually do that at school with my students every year. It's so much fun.
I think that's what Monikers was like based off of Fishbowl, and they just made an official version of it.
You know what? I decree that if we have the chance to do a big summer game night bash, we play Fishbowl and come up with our own cards.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But yeah, do you have a game on the list that I didn't mention that you like to play? Did I hit all the good ones?
When it comes to like nerdy games, yeah. Summer's always for like hanging out with friends and, you know, doing like cookouts and stuff. So there are other games that we play, you know, cornhole, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. You know what? One I've still yet to ever play, and we haven't just sat down with enough time to do so, is the Legendary games. I need to play one of those with you.
Oh, yeah. It's so much fun. So much fun.
I'm wrapping this up here with what's one of my final favorite summer things.
What music you listen to in the summer?
Oh, summer music? You know, lately I've been so nostalgic, even more so since summer hit. And I hate using the word nostalgia to describe this, but a lot of early 2000s hits.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's like Lauren. Lauren loves those.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Goo Goo Dolls and Matchbox 20 and stuff like that lately.
So like late 90s radio rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff's fun. I like Vertical Horizon.
Yeah.
There are a handful of bands. Third Eye Blind is still like one of my favorite bands of all time.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been able to see them live. It's like one on my bucket list.
That would be a good one. I keep listening. Like I already said, Goo Goo Dolls and stuff like that. I want to see them in person so bad.
You know what? We almost went last year because one of Lauren and I's favorite bands is Blue October, and they were touring with them, and we were like, oh yeah, we got to go. And it was at Starlight, so it was like outside, you know, and it's all like lit up and stuff, and it would have been so cool. And I think we were like out of town or something.
Yeah.
But actually, I have a goal this year is to see a show at every big venue in the Kansas City area.
Ooh, that's a good goal.
Yeah. We got tickets to go see a band in August at the Truman, so that'll be that one. Right now I'm looking for shows in Lawrence right now. So
I need to have a goal to just see a show at a venue.
Well, yeah. You just come along to one of the ones I'm going to.
Yeah. Let's make it happen.
Yep.
Let's wrap up this summer fun with, I'm trying to think, one of my favorite summer treats. Now, the thing is, I get this all year round, but it just hits different in the summer. I like to go over to Sonic and get a Route 44 ocean water. That is so good.
Yeah, ocean waters are really good. I'm trying to think what I really like in the summer. There are a lot of like events in Lawrence where like people have like food trucks and stuff. I like getting a strawberry lemonade.
Oh, yeah.
Like a really, really, one of those like really nice ones.
Yeah, Bonner Springs had a big 4th of July thing. And funny enough, you said that. I got this really big shaken strawberry lemonade. It was like, had all the fruit in it and ice. And oh, man, it was so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Now I got to go make some lemonade. That sounds good.
Yeah, I don't like normal lemonade. It just doesn't do anything for me. It has to have a flavor to it. Otherwise, I just feel like it's making me thirsty.
Yeah. I don't drink it that much, so when I do have it, I don't mind the regular stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's summer. I don't grill a lot throughout the year, but in summer, I feel like I grill at least once or twice a week. Throw some stadium brats on that thing, man.
Yeah. It's a good time to eat grilled food.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of a nutshell of the stuff we love doing all summer. Those of you guys listening, if you have a chance, hop on over to our Facebook or our Instagram or something. Tell us what you love doing in the summer. Maybe there's some cool thing that we don't even know about, and I'm going to need you to tell me about it because I want to play it or see it or do it too. So let us know.
Yeah, give me your loves, all your loves.
Yes.
I want to love them too. Quote, unquote, St. Vincent.
Michael Scott. Well, hey, you guys keep on having a great summer. Keep on having fun. And as for us here at the Taylorverse, I've been Billy Taylor.
And I'm Taylor Oxner.
And come back next week, guys. Same Taylor time, same Taylor channel.
Bye.
Bye.